Do you wish to sail the high seas, fight among pirates and sea merchants, or perhaps try and break somebody out of an Alcatraz-like prison? Today, in the Eberron lore deep dive, we are going into the Lhazaar Principalities. Hey there everyone, Mazarok here, and today we are in our Eberron deep dive lore. We are going into the Lhazaar Principalities, which is a very loose alliance of sea princes, merchants, and pirates. Now, before the last war, the Lhazaar Principalities was actually one of the first to be colonized by humans in the early days of Corvair. So it has some of its oldest settlements there. And around the island chain of the easternmost of Corvair, every sea prince or pirate king, pirate prince, kind of holds dominion over their island and things like that. And the key thing to kind of look at here is the fact that none of those princedoms are hereditary. It's not like a conventional monarchy where a rulership is given; it is earned, it is taken. So it is actually extremely likely that a sailor might start the day off being a sailor, captain of his own ship, and end the day as a prince of his own princedom. So this opens up a lot of possibilities to the players. Personally, I've heard a lot of Ghosts of Saltmarsh being played in Kabara. I think the Lhazaar Principalities would actually be a very, very good spot to plant Saltmarsh if you're running that campaign. I think it has a lot to offer and would work very, very well. Now, with the last war going on, the Principalities had agreed to certain terms and conditions under King Galifar and under Galifar rulership. But when the last war started, the Principalities had agreed that their terms and conditions for being united under Galifar were done. The kingship has splintered, and they have no loyalty to hold to anyone anymore. So they became a neutral faction among the last war, and kind of all started doing their own thing. Now, they were always allowed to be autonomous by themselves, ruling under their princeships and things like that. But now they were allowed to take to the high seas and piracy again. So some princedoms, what they did is they did exactly that. They went back to piracy and started kind of, making life miserable for coast towns along Corvair. Some princedoms, what they did is they sold themselves off as privateers and buccaneers to whichever army decided that wanted their help. So you kind of have two conflicting viewpoints on how that should be run, and that can change day by day. Because like I said earlier, a person could start a sailor in the day and end up a prince by the end of the day. So there's a lot of different viewpoints within the Principalities themselves, but one thing that they are completely united on is the sea. They have a very deep love of the sea and everything of it. A lot of their alcohol is, for example, made from sea plants. Their diet is very seafood rich, and that's one thing that kind of unites them all. Going from island to island, you are bound to find a different set of laws. Each prince has the right to govern as they see fit. Most of them have a very few common set in place. One of them is that a princedom is earned, not given. That's the biggest one that Lhazaar had set down like 3,000 years in the past and has continued to this day and been honored by everyone. It's kind of ancestral tradition, and you don't mess with that kind of deal. But going around from island to island, you're going to have a different set of laws, a different set of styles, a different viewpoints on everything. So there is a lot of little things to explore. Now this equals more work for the DM, but a lot of fun work for the DM, because you can really kind of have your own, you can really build your own big world in a micro place, really. You can really explore the Principalities and have a lot of fun there, all while kind of world building, but in a micro version of it. So there's a lot of fun to be had there. Now, there's also a lot of old tombs for raiding and things like that if your players are kind of into that. So you do have dungeon opportunities there as well, given that it is one of the first to be settled by humans back when the humans came to Corvair 3,000 years in the past. A nice feature of the Principalities as well is the Dreadhold. It's said to be an inescapable prison operated by House Kundarak dwarves. Now, in my opinion, the moment I read that about the Dreadhold, I thought Prison Break. Now, I am not the biggest fan of you're in prison, break out. My thought was, you have to break somebody out. I think that would be a really, really fun start to a campaign where you have to kind of leverage your morals with the House Kundarak dwarves and having to break somebody out for what purpose. I think there's a lot of possibilities that any DM could use with just with the Dreadhold alone. I think it's a really, really good option to use and have a lot of fun with. And it really lets you kind of build an entire prison, something like the Rock, like the Alcatraz. So it's just something that, I think would be a lot of fun and a good thing to have fun with and use. There is also a group of foundlings from House Lhazaar who really, really want to get their hands on airships, but they're not affiliated with House Lhazaar at all. They simply have the mark. They live in the Principalities. So you do have a new point of contention. Perhaps they're going to attempt to pirate the Sorewood that House Eberron has been selling House Lhazaar. Now let's talk about a few of the bigger princedoms. One of them is the capital of Port Verge, which is actually part of the Dire Shark Principality. Now, Prince Colberkin, I had to make sure that I was reading that one right, is a follower of the Blood of Vol. The Blood of Vol is a religion that had a major foothold in Karnath during the start of the last war, during their famines, and he is very much into piracy and wishes to increase that presence around the Principalities and through Corvair. And he has a very big thirst for glory. So that was right off the bat, that could either be good or bad, depending on how you want to kind of play that campaign. But I think there's a lot of options there for fun NPC creation, fun villain creation, and a lot of fun like that. Second one would be the capital of Regalport, which is the biggest city within the Lhazaar Principalities, and the High Prince there. So there was always one known High Prince, and to be a High Prince, you need to have kind of at least enough respect among the other princes to be considered as such. Now, this one here, the High Prince here is attempting to unite the Lhazaar Principalities and create a stronger unification among them, and just kind of be stronger as a whole. And that has been his goal. And it is said that both the Dire Shark and the High Prince have been known to take kind of unbalanced or dumb, in another sense of a word, deals to try and make that happen. They're very, very much for that goal and can be blindsided by it. So I think your players have a lot of opportunity there to kind of reforge a nation and how they want to see fit. But this would be the nation where they have the biggest chance of ending up being high princes, and that sort of thing. They could really claim a rulership over by creating a fleet, being the strongest, and kind of working their way through piracy or privateers or buccaneers or whatever have you not. I think there's a lot of options here for your players, and this is one where if you have a group of players that really, really, you've played campaigns with them and you've heard them say, I want to be the king of this nation. Well, there's a very, very good chance in most campaigns that's not super possible or insanely difficult to achieve, where this is a nation where it's actually much more easy to achieve. So if you are a player that would like to be a high prince, talk to your DM about maybe starting a campaign in the Lhazaar Principalities of Eberron. I think this is a really, really good option for you guys to have a lot of fun with. And if you do have the Falling Star mini boat, I say mini, but it's still like this big, great chance to break it out and have a campaign with it. Now let's go on to a topic which is not a topic, but it is a lost island. So this is the legend of Lhazaar. Now the pirate Queen Lhazaar, who originally landed on Corvair 3,000 years ago, is said to have had an island which nobody has been able to claim to even see for the last 500 years, and many have spent their lives in search for it. So I think there's a really, really good opportunity here for your players to find an island that's been unseen for 500 years. You have a lot of a lot of great dungeon diving, so you do have that at your disposal, as well as kind of a new wild, like a wild wasteland, not wasteland, but a new wild to explore, which would be untouched by current civilization, the last war, things like that. Perhaps even have your players sail off from that island, starting there, but they don't know. They know nothing about the last war. Boom, they're in Eberron now. And now they have to deal with all of these things while maybe trying to protect their island from outsiders, not knowing the riches that are actually underneath. So again, you start playing with these moralities and you can have a lot of fun there. So since the end of the last war, most princes are pretty content with their domains, but there are the two that are vying for more power, each with two completely different goals. One being on the side of the Blood of Vol with Port Verge. Sorry, I'm still sick, and I've been coughing a lot, and I'm trying to kind of suppress that. The other one being Regalport with the High Prince there, attempting a more unified nation. Now, the Sovereign Host tends to be the Sovereign Host and the Blood of Vol tend to be the two biggest religions in play in the Lhazaar Principalities, but most are unreligious. They simply don't follow anything. So that's like a good solid 70%, 75%, where the other two are kind of split down the middle along those principalities. So that's the Lhazaar Principalities for you today. Like I said, I think there's a lot of fun options for campaigns here. I hope I've kind of given you ideas and inspired you to want to go there in your Eberron campaign, or maybe start one in there as well. And like I said earlier, I think this is a really, really good spot to kind of plop a Salt Marsh campaign. So if you're kind of looking for something a little bit different, I think you have a good option here. For that, now of course you have the workaround of the lizard folk, which are mostly in Kabara, but you can kind of have a sect going that have maybe gone off. There's always a way to explain everything in your own campaign, because it's your own campaign. Have fun with it. It doesn't matter. It's as long as the players are having fun at the end of the day, that's all that matters. And I think this is a really, really good option to get your players to have a lot of fun, break out your ship minis and things like that, and really have a lot of fun there. So aside from that, I stream on Twitch every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. I am streaming more because of the Shadowlands release, which is as of November 23rd today. That will be coming out, and I will be on for the launch of that. So come on by, say hi. I would love to see you guys there. And every Sunday, I am running Rime of the Frost Maiden for my group of friends who are amazing role players. It has been a lot of fun. So come on by, say hi, and every Sunday I give away a dice bag on stream. So if you'd like a homemade dice bag, that some are ranging from Halloween, I might be making Christmas ones soon, and I do have other options as well. So you do have your choice of dice bag as you come in, and just come on and say hi and chat. Even if I'm playing World of Warcraft, I still want to talk about D&D. Ask your D&D questions. You got DM questions? I'd love to hear it. If you do need more DM tools, you can check out my Patreon. I've got a lot of printables there, combat trackers, spell effects for your tables, things like that, and I am trying to put more and more on there. If you want to buy dice bags, masks, or would like to see me make anything, my Etsy shop's down below. Check that out. Aside from that, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what's going on. And looking here, my daughter is pretending to be a cat, so I'm gonna have to call this video over. Thank you very much for all of your support, and see you next time.